Hey man, you ever looking to flatter?
Bird rat. Don't have my camera all the way up. Of course, I'm down about 8 inches a foot down in this hole. And the water ain't very far. I'm coming up here. Alright, and then right here on this part, I'm just showing you the height of my camera. I'm using a rock to kind of keep the ruler from sliding out and giving me the wrong measurement. So you'll see I kind of just tuck it behind the rock just to keep it straight as possible to get as accurate as I possibly can with it. So, you know, we're at about 43 inches, 43 and a half, you know, if you want to go that route. But other than that, I'm also in a hole. So I'm figuring, you know, like I said before, I'm about 6 feet, 6.5, and I think I give too much away sometimes because you know, I'm guesstimating, and I over guesstimate it most of the time just to be on the safe side. All right, I'm going to get on with some of the other video footage I've got, want to share and want to document. All right, here we go. Well, this editing stuff is for the birds, if you ask me, man. It is some tough work. Um, yes, I did adjust the contrast, brightness, and saturation on this some of this footage too. Some I believe I kind of left alone. Um, the whole thing is just to try to highlight um, some of the things that I see. But what I wanted to do was get through this portion of the video because I'm going to come up on this boat that's already way out in the distance here shortly, and I'm going to track it. And I track it for approximately 15 minutes, and I've sped some of this up basically so I could make it a lot shorter because it was going to be hard to show these in separate parts. So this is like 3 videos, but the last part, basically I just used a couple of minutes out of it. And here's the Bayport bird rack, and look at the size of the boat, at how far away from it is. Perspectively, that boat is a lot further away, and I even think that that boat would be a little bit smaller, but the light diffraction coming off of it uh, distorts it and also makes it hard to get a actual really good focus on it. That's one thing too on this portion of the video. Yeah, I was obviously out of focus here a little bit, and again, you know, I'm tired. I've been filming for a long time, um, so I do get a little bit of a good part right here where you can even see the light flashing on the boat. These are sped up 2 times the speed, so if you want to slow it down in your YouTube settings, you could. Um, except for my voice is going to be in slow motion. Um, but even look at the perspective of this bigger boat that's really close to the Bayport bird rack compared to this much bigger boat. This is a shrimp boat or a crab boat. And usually they're good sized boats. But look at the distance difference it is. So I'm able to see, and I want to say that I know that these boats that are going to the Bayport bird rack are 3.5 miles away. So this boat prospectively has to be twice that far, if not even further. And from my height, I should not be able to see this boat appear the way that it is. Now, again, you'll have to put transitions in between here. And what I did here was I slowed it down because I zoomed back. I brought this back to regular speed. I zoom back and I show you how that horizon looks. Again, you know, that light is illuminating those thin, less dense clouds in the background. And that is exactly what the water is doing here, is mirroring that sky, that background. Even this closer water that you can obviously see. And then this part right here, I adjusted the brightness on it, brought the brightness down, made it a little bit darker, and actually did get it in a fairly good focus. Right there, I turned it down, and I'm actually using the compensation exposure on the camera to do that. And right up here, I'm going to point out with an arrow that there's something else in the water here. I'm not sure if it's a boat or if it could be Cutter's Rock, because there's a sign nearby, and that could be definitely compressing it, compressing Cutter's Rock downward. And again, in my opinion, that compression occurs within that mirroring zone, and if that mirroring zone's closer to you, it vanishes much closer to you, and then when it's way out on the horizon, things will vanish once they start getting into it. This boat again is a long ways off. I sped this portion up again 2 times the speed. This was the whole video too. I think it was a 7.5-minute video right here, and I just doubled the speed of it. And again, you can see these layers in the water where you got calm spots. And that's what was pretty cool about this, because you can see how it goes out and kind of creates these little increments of different distances. And then, of course, see, I get this much bigger boat that's closer come flying in. And I don't even know what kind of boat that was. It might have been that dang paddle boat that I filmed one day. But if it was, it's quite a ways out there too, because I've filmed it fairly close up, or got a much better visual on it in one of my videos. And I don't know if I shared that part or not. It is so hard to share a lot of my footage, only because, again, I do these long observations that, you know, a lot of people don't like to watch. But again, I'm not doing this to you know, for anybody really. Well, I am. I'm doing it for the flat Earth community. And again, I always offer my stuff for free. Just, you know, try to give me a little bit of credit for it, which, you know, most everybody does. I see that. And then, you know, also right here, I want you compare the size of that boat to this bird that's very much closer, but still, that bird is a long ways away from me. Because again, I'm zoomed in, um, and I say, well, look at this perspective. When the bird is bigger than the boat, how far off, how far out has that boat got to be? Um, I personally think that this boat's out about 8 miles. I could be wrong. And I was actually hoping to catch it go behind the north rack. But as you'll see here, I mean, I'm actually just barely seeing it in the screen. Because again, you got to realize that I'm looking at this small screen. I got sun glare on it. I mean, I got reflection off of it where, I mean, I'm looking into it and I can see reflections behind me. So it's very hard to um, tell when I'm in really good focus. Also, it's hard to tell if I still am following it. And then you don't know it until you get back home and you put on your computer, watch it on a bigger screen, and say, "Wow, man, I could have still followed that if I could have seen it." And there's another portion coming up in this footage where I do catch a boat way out there, similar to the size of this one. Um, and again, there I speed it up because I want to end the video. But I mark it out or I show it, and I even think it's farther out than this boat that we're looking at. But that'll be in an upcoming portion or another part to this. All right, again, appreciate those that watch. And again, my stuff is for free. Feel free to use it. Thank you very much.